love sweet got it back yet. Love turns into time, don't you grab it.
This video is brought to you by T-Blocks. Enjoy the content now, but stay for the shilling later.
Hey, welcome to the Lobster Magnet and Friends. I'm here with my buddy Goro.
What's up?
We're here, Zavulus.
Yeah.
Things happen. Who knows? We'll get him. I'm sure he would have had some very interesting thoughts in this chapter, because this is definitely like, oh shit, Luffy just like completely running for his life.
Yeah.
Out of the fire pan or out of the flames and into the fire pan, or out of the fire into the however that expression works. He was completely screwed. And
out of the mochi and into Big Mom.
Yeah, into Big Mom. Yeah, I did enjoy just seeing Luffy just like, oh god, and then he sees Brule and he's like, Brule, my ticket out of here. So he kidnaps her yet again as she becomes like the unofficial Straw Hat of this arc.
Yeah. I just love that one panel of like Brule and Luffy like meet eye to eye. Like Brule is just like, and Luffy's like,
yeah, he's just like, yeah. He's like he'd seen a long lost friend, like he saw Sabo. That was a pretty great panel. And it was also nice to like watch, like, him, the Candy Man put up a wall, and then the snake girl with the long neck like sliced through the wall, and Luffy's just like running by the seat of his pants, completely all outclassed and on all sides.
Yeah, that was really fun.
It was definitely a very fun chapter. There is a little bit of me that's like, come on, resolve this. Like, but as far as things go, I did appreciate. God, I kind of wonder if like once after like Big Mom eats the cake, if like she'll forgive them, and then that'll be how the arc ends. She like lets them go, but just because the cake is that delicious.
No, I think she's gonna faint. That's what's gonna happen. She's gonna faint. Sanji literally said that he's gonna make a cake that'll make Big Mom faint.
That makes sense. That seems plausible. It's like so sugary it sends her into diabetic shock of foodgasm pleasure.
Yeah.
And then that that allows those Straw Hats to escape. And then the Big Mom pirates are kind of like, thank you, Straw Hats, for saving us from our Big Mom. You can leave, but remember, you may never return.
So basically, the Big Mom pirates will be like, they'll be like so devastated from like all of her destruction, and then like Sanji will come in the last minute and be like, I'm here to save the day, and then Big Mom pirates are like, we'll look away this one time or something.
Yeah, like that seems like that's a really smooth way to end this arc. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Because, like, I want this arc to end. I heard this really crazy rumor that supposedly Oda in an interview said, like, we're, like, 1 to 2 years away from the Wano country.
Only 1 to 2 years?
That to me seems absurd. An absurd amount of time just to, like, get to the next big arc.
The Wano country? Zoro is already in the Wano country, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how could he be, like, 1 to 2 years away from that?
I don't know. Maybe he just like has a lot of stuff he wants to do with the Big Mom pirate stuff. Maybe it's just because of the more delays he's getting from like getting a break every three weeks or something.
I'm begging it's not like Dressrosa. Like this can't not
this
be like Dressrosa.
Yeah. This has to end. I want it to end. Supposedly, although it might be because like the next arc between this and Wano, it will be the Reverie, which is something we've been waiting for years to see.
Oh yeah, the Reverie. Oh, I wonder how long that's gonna be. That'll be interesting.
Although who we haven't seen in a while, our second favorite character, Big News Morgan.
He's still like he's still in the first island.
He's
not chasing after. He's not chasing after the Straw Hats. But he might be chasing after the story. He's always about the big story.
I hope when the arc ends, like Big News Morgan's like recording it all, and we get to see him one more time. This is all big news.
God. I want more Big News Morgan. He's got to make a reappearance. He was like one of the best guests of like Big Mom's wedding of all time.
He was the best like side character, gimmick character Oda's ever made. Big news. Just this little big bird guy with a news hat, 1930s.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's funny, the thin line between like dumb One Piece characters like Oven or like Pound, the husband that nobody gives a crap about, versus Big News Morgan, where they just work perfectly.
Yeah, it sometimes is like a hit or miss, but like when it does hit, it's just like it's fantastic. I don't mind like a lot of the misses that Oda makes, like in terms of like designing his wacky characters.
Oda's got some really dumb, wacky characters, and like you sort of tolerate it just because it's like part of the One Piece aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. Like One Piece already has like a whatchamacallit, a foundation on wackiness.
Yeah, I'd say like 70% of the character designs are like kind of wacky and terrible, and like 30% of them are kind of like legitimately badass.
Yeah, and
I don't know. Every like Rob Lucci, there's like that fat owl guy with the zipper mouth. Even like Kaku has that dumb gimmick of where he turns into a giraffe. Oda loves him some wackiness. I'm trying to think what other the the Kabuki dancer guy. For every I think it's a 30% rule. For every badass character, there's going to be like 6 or more, crazy wacky ones.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but it just made me think of like something that Promised Neverland is doing. It's just like it's trying to throw a curveball, and like Emma's sort of like being put in this really like out of place situation, whereas like in One Piece, like everything, like stuff like that is like standard. I feel like anything can happen in One Piece and it would be okay.
Yeah. Oda's like set up so many things that like you just kind of go with it. Oh, cyborg, sure. Transgender. Community paradise amidst the world's greatest prison, fine. It makes sense because, we've seen so many other things in One Piece. Sky Island in the sky, sure.
Civil war in the desert lands, sure, with like rebellions and all that.
Well, that was a little bit more serious, but like, just in terms of like wacky things that shouldn't, zombies, all right, fine.
Yeah, but even, a lot of serious things that like have been like thrown in One Piece, like feel like One Piece to me. Like,
as opposed to Holland and Promised Neverland. Well, we only have one page to judge Holland by.
Yeah.
You can't really hate Holland because we don't have nearly enough information to judge Holland.
I guess. I don't know. It just felt out of place. It felt like, Alice in Wonderland in a story that was like basically Death Note.
Yes.
Kind of like Death Note-esque. And then there's a lot of weird story decisions in Promised Neverland right now, but yeah, I guess I shouldn't go on to Promised Neverland when there's so much good One Piece to talk about.
But are you enjoying seeing like how everyone sort of reacted? Well, I mean, I did enjoy like the whole like Luffy just running by the seat of his pants. That's like something it feels like we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, I haven't seen that since like
Pre-time jump?
Yeah, pre-time jump, I feel. God. No, Luffy running away, it's been a long time since that's happened.
Yeah, and it is definitely a good thing. So let's get to the score. What would you rate this chapter?
I give it a solid 8.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a solid 8. I enjoyed Luffy running away. I am still getting arc fatigue, and I want this to be resolved.
I completely agree. The arc fatigue is like, we wanted this chapter to end like very sweetly, very short and sweet in a sense.
Because like I think this has definitely been the strongest arc, but I'm in the new world, but I'm definitely like, I'm getting a little annoyed and liking it a little less and less as we go on.
Yeah, because like there was a point in the arc where it felt like the perfect way to end it, just like
Yeah.
Running away from Big Mom's wedding with Sanji.
While Big Mom goes into one of her fits and eats all of her children or destroys her kingdom.
Yeah, I thought that would have been a fantastic way to end
That would have been a brilliant ending. That would have been a perfect, thing for Big Mom. But stretch it out, I guess. I don't know whose edict that was. If Oda was just like, I have so much more story to tell. We need to redeem Pudding. We need to have her make a cake with Sanji, and we need to have Luffy fight Katakuri. I guess you could say that's a benefit. Like the Luffy versus
that's like one of the
Katakuri
big
stuff
pluses of the extending the arc. We get to see Luffy versus Katakuri, and that fight is just like so. It feels so awesome to see that, like, them going at it, like Katakuri with all his like advanced like hockey techniques and.
Well, it's great because Katakuri like completely outclasses Luffy in every single regard. He's just better. He's a better character design. He's better at hockey. His stretchy powers are more versatile than Luffy's. He's just completely. It's definitely fun to see like a mirror match in a mirror world, and I think he's like probably the best henchman or sub commander we've ever seen.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I think that's definitely true.
I can't think of a better one that's like been as cool or as badass as Katakuri. He's kind of lived up to the hype.
Does Rob Lucci count as a henchman? Not really.
He felt like he was the boss of CP9. He had the highest power level. You could argue that technically he was under the command of Spandam, but Spandam didn't really do anything. So I don't know if I'd call him a sub-commander. He definitely felt like he was the leader of CP9. He was like the big force.
Yeah. That's true.
But like, Das Bones is maybe comparable, or like, the leopard guy from Thriller Bark, or Perona, who are okay, but not as good as Katakuri.
I mean,
there's the Yeti Cool Brothers, if you remember those guys from Punk Hazard.
The Cool Brothers? Oh god, those guys.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sure, those were like fun. Those are like fun commander characters, but I wouldn't call them like necessarily powerful like Luffy's level.
They were just like little obstacles to give other people to fight against, and they had like cute gimmicks, but they do not match up against the berserk-inspired badass of Katakuri.
Katakuri is both fun and like awesome, and like powerfully awesome in like a lot of ways.
And he's also relatable because like, don't we all just want to like, I had a Katakuri moment where I was just like, eating like Nutella from the jar, and I was like, Nutella, I'm gonna eat all this Nutella. I'm getting Nutella on my hands. I'm getting Nutella on my face. There's no way to do that with any sense of grace. You're like hiding it because you don't want to, feel like the ultimate pig just eating the Nutella. Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone's had that moment before. Just like you sit and like eat like that, sinful thing, and then you like fall asleep soon afterwards or something.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy's keeping up a front of like 24/7 of like the most badass guy who never leans down ever.
Who never, sits down.
Yeah, never sits down. Remember that story? He came from Big Mom's.
No, never lies down.
Yeah, he gets up and he like walks over when he was like a newborn child and then leans up.
Yeah,
God, that's the most beautiful and ridiculous thing has ever concocted.
And like it's great because like even though Oda is like extending this story and like to a point where we feel like it's probably past its time, it's still like lots of fun. Like this particular, those particular moments. It's just like, it almost makes it like all worth it, really. I'm just, I'm still satisfied with like where the manga is going and everything. Just
yeah. Although I definitely do want this like resolved and ended. I certainly hope we don't have like another year or year and a half of this. Like I'll be pissed.
Oh god, if it's like Dressrosa, Yeah, I've already said that.
Yeah. No more Dressrosa. Never again, Oda.
Yeah, I think he might have learned his lesson. There shouldn't be, like, some kind of crazy, like, tournament arc within this arc.
Yeah.
Or, like...
No more extending things. Let's just get
survival
done.
game.
Let's get out of this. Let's get to the celebratory we win Straw Hat celebration and then move on to the next arc.
No, like, survivor game kind of thing that happens within this arc.
You know, Zoe was so refreshing just because it was so brief.
Yeah, it really was. I almost felt like Oda was just like, yes, thank God, another short arc. Yes. Oh, it feels so good.
Let's just get through this. And, you know, it was great. It was nice to have a nice short arc. All right, so definitely an 8 for me. 8 for you?
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5 because I love the Katakuri fight.
But Katakuri wasn't even in this chapter.
He kind of was. He, you know, beat down Luffy a little bit, and Luffy ran away, you know, towards the beginning of the chapter. It's true, but what can I say? It's still an enjoyable fight to me, and, like, the conclusion was just as enjoyable as well. Like, so far. I don't know if they're going to fight again, but maybe.
We'll see. It'll be interesting. All right, so thank you for listening to us ramble about this belated chapter. Who knows? Maybe this weekend we'll get when the new chapter's out, which should be by tomorrow or Friday. I think spoilers are already out, so who knows? I think there's a good chance we'll see it tomorrow, maybe later. And remember, Lobsters and Tennis, but don't you grab it. And also buy T-Blocks. There'll be a commercial after this video. You're going to be very familiar with that because I'm going to be plugging that a lot.
Cool.
Do you like clothes but hate shopping? Then T-Blocks is the subscription service for you. But I know what you're thinking. But Lobster, how is that any different than Loot Crate or the other subscription services? Well, T-Blocks sends you t-shirts, which is clothing, which is actually useful, unlike the useless swag junk that Loot Crate keeps peddling on gullible schmucks. And this isn't just knockoff brand crap. T-Blocks hooks you up with licensed shirts for all the stuff you love, because you need clothes. How else are you going to keep your puny human man flesh protected from the elements? T-shirts are useful for any occasion. Wear them, give them to friends, give them to enemies, knit them together, make a quilt. T-shirts are life. And you know the best part? It'll only cost you $6.99. That's right, you can get 12 shirts sent to you for once a month for only $6.99. And you know what? If ultra cheap licensed goods are too basic for you, then there's also the Community T-Block set, which features original designs from the best up-and-coming artists, so you can keep that hipster street cred. But I'm here to save you even more money! Use the code LOBSTERTBX at checkout and you'll save 10% on any order. Be a t-shirt wearing god amongst mortals. Use the power of the most expensive seafood to get you the cheapest t-shirts now!